Hi everybody, now I'm gonna show you my studio here, Juicy Halftone Studio A. This is the control room. That's my big cabasa, which I got from Francis Jose. And this in here is the recording room. We have a small room which actually is, instead of having double door, you have a room there. It can also serve as an extra amp room for an amplifier. And it's also very good when you need some isolation instead of a double door, as I said. So you have better sound proofing between the different rooms. This is the isolation booth here, where I mostly store my baffles and amplifiers. And this is my Wurlitzer. It's a student model. Very nice, really nice sound from the speakers. And as I said, this is like there's a door here and here and here, so you get this kind of vacuum in between here in that little room, and you can also use it as a amp room. I have these small things here that you can open up, and you can have a cable running through the different rooms here. So you see it coming on the other side here. This is the one that goes to the box that goes to the patch bay in the control room, having some baffles hanging on the wall also. Now here we come into the recording room, the big recording room, main recording room. This is the window into the isolation booth, and it's a okay big size room. Could be bigger, but that's what I have. There's more space in here. This is my cable rack, neatly winded and ready for action. And this is my upright piano. Very nice sound when you need upright. And this is my cabinet for microphones. I have all different kinds of microphones in here. I have a 414 KM 184 Neumann, and the 414 is AKG, of course. I have a very funny microphone here, which is a Grundy microphone that comes from an old tape recorder, stereo mic. Really nice. I had it rewired with XLR cables, and this is a very nice room mic for drums. I actually mic'd the acoustic guitar and electric guitar with it. It has a nice, funny sound. I have some Coles 438 here hanging over the drum kit right now. And I have these nice DPA 4007 anniversary edition with gold plated front. Very nice. And there's some other microphone, Neumann and KG more here. Here I have my rack for all my stands when they're packed and when everything is cleaned up. And this is a shelf that I put all the other stands on that has the round foot, so I can easily wash the floor without having to move too much around. This is my little cart here where I can put microphones, hang wires and stuff when I'm setting up or taking it down. And today I've been recording a reggae band. This is my keyboard actually. This is the in-house keyboard. It's a Nord Stage, which is with 88 weighted keys, and it's there because it's just nice to offer a keyboard when it's more convenient for the band, just to use mine. And I have a lot of baffles which I built myself. This is the big baffles here, which I also use when I'm recording vocal in this room, just to create a little more dry sound. I like to record in here instead of the small room, which many people think I would record vocal in there, but I like the big room, nice open sound on the vocal. I don't like to do it in a small room. And there's a windows in here also, which I cover with these, because I don't need the window, it sounds better to baffle it. And this is the in-house drum kit. It's a Pro GLX, 4 toms, and a brass snare originally. These are my Avium monitor system, a 16-channel personal mixer. Very nice for making your own monitor sound, so I don't have to do it from the control room. This is an Biodynamic M201, which I use a lot for hi-hat, mostly for hi-hat, but it can be used for other stuff also, acoustic guitar, percussion, etc. And this is my Special 57 here. This is my snare setup, and this is actually a bend that you can buy on the internet, and you just disassemble. You take the 57 apart and extend the wire inside, and then you screw it on this bending part that you got from the internet, and then you wire it up again and collect it and assemble it, and then you have a bended 57. And the 57 is totally original. There's been no alterations to the microphone except inserting this bend in it. And then on the 57 here, I have attached Beta 98. I like 2 microphones and snare like that. You could use the Neumann KM 184 or something else, small diaphragm condenser mic, to get that a little bit more top and bottom of the snare. The 57, of course, is for the nice middle tone, and it's just a classic snare sound. I use 421 for toms. At the moment I actually only have 3, so at this point when I'm using 4, I'm using this Beta 56 for the smallest tom. Has a nice modern tom sound actually. Not bad at all. Mostly I use it actually for talkback microphone, because they don't pick up so much of the room actually. Then here's my Coles 440 38, and use it for overheads, ambient microphones, vocal, guitar, you name it. Anything you can think of actually. They're really nice. They're a little, I don't know how to say it, soft in the top end, so mostly you have to put a little bit of equalization on them to get that more open sound, but they're really natural, straightforward microphone. And this is my SM81 Shure, which I always use for a ride, or well, sometimes I use KM 184, but this does the trick, and it actually sounds quite nice, I think. Then I have the iFit from David Buck Audio, and this is a really great microphone. I have a pair, of course. I use them for ambience, vocal, guitar, percussion, many different things. Acoustic guitar. It has a vintage. There's an instrument and vintage setting here. If I try to focus on it here. Vintage and instrument setting. The vintage is the instrument setting can withstand more sound pressure, and no, the instrument setting can take more sound pressure, and the vintage setting sounds really nice and vocal and has some kind of old school sound to it. This is my guitar setup for today. Well, there's no it's just straight into the amp anyway. But I use these SGI radial engineering interfaces to send the guitar signal all the way down to the amp room, where in this case I actually have a Roland jazz chorus, because it's reggae. They sound really nice for that. Here I have a precision bass, in-house bass actually, and also this guitar over here, which is a Starcaster Fender. Here is my my DI for the bass, my choice of DI for the bass, and it is a Avalon, very nice. It sounds really great on bass. And it has two outputs. It has a line output and a DI, and I run the line output straight to Pro Tools, and then I run the DI to my vintage channel strip, so I can EQ it a bit and get a different kind of line sound. Actually, I only run the line straight to the Pro Tools just to keep safe, so if I need anything, I have the total original sound from the DI box. And of course, it's SDI here also running to the bass amp at the bass amp room. Yes, this is my little rack where my boxes for the patch bay are hanging here. My tie lines, ABC, with 16 on each, so there should be plenty of connections available. And here is my little rack where I have my Aviom system hanging, and I have 6 boxes, 5 of them hanging up there and another one standing. This is my grand piano. It's a Hinsberg. It's actually a Steinway copy, Danish Steinway copy. And I have this hat on, which is something that I saw when I was in Sound City, and I just built a copy of it. Somehow, and it has 3 microphone stands in there, so I can hang the microphone over in the right position. I have a TLM 49 sitting in there at the moment, and I have 2 over the front. Sounds really nice, and it's really great at isolating the drums and the piano from each other. Very nice. Really great sound. Really good idea for when you are doing live recording. And let's get into to the control room. Right here I have my different snares. I have a Stoner, very nice snare. Really good when you crank it up really high. Also really nice cutting through sound. And there's the brass snare for the Pearl kit. And there's my Ludwig snare, my old Ludwig snares from the 70s, and this is a Black Beauty in the box, and up there I have an extra Pearl brass snare actually. And then I have a box here with different percussion stuff, shakers, tambourines, you name it, anything. And then we go in here. This is actually something I want to show you. I'm building a drumbrella here for the drum kit instead of my usual damping in the roof and the ceiling. So 2 halves which are going to be joined together. They need some paint and some dampening material inside, and then they're ready to be hung over the drum kit. In here we have the guitar amp room, which turns on by itself. I have two SM7B on the amp. That's on. Let's turn it off. And you see the other end of the SGI here going through the amp. This is a really nice amp for reggae. And I have another on the other side of this wall. There's another amp room for the bass. It's right down here. It's a little workshop where we fix anything that can be fixed. Then we go in here. In here is today's amp, bass amplifier. I'm using a R20, and I'm using a homemade NS10 Subkick, or whatever you can call it. Recording bass with it gives a really nice bass sound. And I'm actually using a 52 here on the little bass port here to catch that really deep bass. That's just putting a lot of mic on and see what works. Sometimes I just use one microphone, sometimes I use a little of everything. It all depends. Here, the light is not automatic. Go back to the control room. This is my amp cabinet. Really nice. It's 10 units, 10-inch units. Okay, here's my here is my control room. This is my little corner here with the keyboard. Usually the Nord Stage is sitting here. A little mixer, so you can hear the keyboard straight away without have to connect it through on speakers here, of course. So you can hear it straight away without having to connect it to the system. So if you get an idea, you can try it out, and if you like it, it's actually a split box here and a DI there, so you can actually, and that's radio engineering here, so you can actually go straight, hook it up via the patch bay straight into Pro Tools and start recording. Well, let's see here. First of all, I have this very nice GG1 limiter here, really nice limiter. I love it. Does a lot of stuff and really good on overheads, the drum bus, or many different things, vocal, you name it. And here is the Slam, Mandy Slam, two nice preamps, and has a brick wall limiter and a LA2A style limiter on each channel. And it has a nice feature here where you can actually if you see here, you can actually low cut the source, actually not the actual signal, but the signal that it's used to compressing with, so you can get a really nice fat kick drum, for instance, or just on the whole kit. Really nice. And there's my massive passive tube equalizer. Use it a lot. Different stuff, overheads when I'm recording drums. This is my Vintech X2X37 73 and 1473. Really nice EQs on this one here. In this case here, I'm actually using it for both snare microphones, and the 473 I'm using for keyboard and guitar. I have the API here, really nice API, and I have 4 channels of Mandy, same preamps sitting in the Slam. This is the dual mono preamplifier, very nice. This is my Air 25 Dyn Audio, very nice speakers. I have the sub sitting down here, the big sub, and of course my NS10 and the Aventone speakers, also nice when you're mixing. This is my patch bay. Here is my Aviom interface, and I have a Aviom rack mixer in here also, so I can monitor how it sounds in the monitors in the recording room. And my patch bay, a lot of wires sitting here for the whole drum kit, for a whole live session, drums, bass, guitar, and keyboard and vocal. Down here I have a Focusrite D7, which I don't use very much actually, but I have this LA4 compressor, which I use a lot, really nice, and of course the LA3A, which I have an old and new version of it, and then I have a new version of the 1176, which I also use a lot for, particularly for bass. And Then I have a Focusrite D3, really nice bus compressor when you're mixing. Really nice, but I also use it for a lot of other stuff. And one knob fell off here, so it needs to be fixed. Then there is some effects. Don't use them a lot, but I use them. When I use them, I love them. I have my Roland rack here with the Dim D. Very nice chorus machine. I have the chorus echo here, tape echo, really nice. I have the flanger. I love it, really great sound. And then the phaser, and the phaser is incredibly sound. When you need it for that little stuff, man, it's really doing the trick. And the Dim D is nice chorus, can be used for a lot of stuff to broaden the track and opening up the sound on the different instruments. Nice one to fatten. Then I have two Digi Pre, just for when I need something fast, and when I need something that is actually quite neutral actually. And well, I have a old Panasonic DAT tape which I haven't used in 10 years, but I love it so much I can't get rid of it. I should get rid of it though, but I'll just let it stay there. Then I have this one here which I use a lot for the EQing my kick drum. It's a TLA Audio 2011 tube equalizer. It's nice. It is actually quite nice. I like it. I use it always for my kick drum. And then we have this one here. This is actually channel strips from an old Electro Sound mixer from '76, which was ordered by a PA rentals company in UK, and they built around 30 of these consoles, 30 track consoles. They built 30 of them, and they were touring around with all big bands. They were the big rental company at that time in England. So these has been touring with The Who, Stones, many different big names. So that's kind of interesting, actually. Well, then I have the Pro Tools rack in here, which is the final thing I'm going to show you. This is my pride and joy. This is the heart of the studio. This is 40 tracks in and out on two of the new interfaces, HDX interfaces, which is 16 in and out on each, and then I have 8 in and out on the older one, 192. And I have a sync here, DigiSync. I have the hubs for the AVM system, which distributes this signal to the different personal mixers and gives them power to run. And there is my Mac machine, and I have this one for my backup, which is just a USB box containing 4 hard drives. Yeah, and in the back here I have the power supply for my Electro Sound mixer. That's the original power supply for the mixer, which is now just feeding the 16 channel rack units over here. So that's my studio. I hope you like it.